Everybody, I'm going to send it over to Ailey and Corey with round number 14. Take it away.
Oh, wait, what? Hi. Yeah, we were just having a nap. We were trying out the Mani machine pose. It didn't work for me, though.
I also got Nathan Steuer.
You did?
Yes, yes. His compute is right.
I think we can handshake on that, yeah. Either way, one of Team Handshake's members are going to be in the top 8, friends, and that is a pretty darn good result indeed for this team, who currently have, what, 4 players sitting at the top of the standings right now?
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
Team Handshake has 1st, 2nd, and 4th going into this round, which is just truly incredible. Pure dominance of the team so far with this Rakdos mid-range deck. Really cool.
Yeah, I bet they're both like, oh man, do we have to fight each other? But yes, we do. So let's get to it here. Javier Dominguez up against Nathan Steuer, an exact mirror match. Now talk to me a little bit about the testing process against the mirror.
You know, the testing process against the mirror most of the time is not a priority, but with Rakdos mid-range, you know, their list is a little different than the traditional list we see. So they've still practiced against it because that was the expected most deck to play against. So while they're not anticipating the exact mirror as something they prepare for something close enough so they still get a little bit of practice here.
Well, let's kick things off here. Reckon a Bank Buster.
I have it.
Bank Buster no more. Reid gets rid of the powerful artifact Blood Tithe Harvester to follow up, though, for Javier Dominguez, so no shortage of gas right now. Nathan Steuer being asked the questions and having the answers at the moment. Cut down Takanuma Badamar, Swamp, Shieldred, Go for the Throat, and Chandra in hand, so a nice mixture of cards there. On the other side of things, Chandra cut down and Go for the Throat for Javier Dominguez.
Yeah, and it was the question and the answer of I have it. It is one Abrade. There was one answer for the Reckoner Bankbuster in the main. So impressive stuff there for Nathan to have on the back foot.
Yep. Nathan able to cut down the first copy of the Blood Tithe Harvester, but the second one hits the board for Javier Dominguez.
Yep, and now Nathan has a decision. Do you want to go for the throat now and kind of leave yourself open to something like Shieldred? They, of course, know the decks here inside and out because they're playing the exact same list. Decides to fire it off, and no Shieldred from Javier, so seems to be the right call for now.
Shieldred in hand for Nathan Steuer. Will we see him tempt fate and deploy the powerful legend? Seeing 2 mana open, now you got to be a little suspicious, knowing that Go for the Throat is going to be cost plenty of times this weekend.
Yep, exactly. Or untap and invoke Despair. Javier had both right now, so here's 6 damage.
Yeah, Rakdos burn. Let's go.
Yes.
Mid-range?
1914.
Hardly.
Yeah, exactly. Rakdos burn here. Being able to draw 3 and have your opponent take 6. Really impressive, not dealing with any permanents on the battlefield, but that's A-okay.
Oh yeah, get some cards. You're perfectly fine with that. Blood Tithe Harvester for the reigning world champ. Getting that blood token too. Chandra Hope's Beacon. Would hope to see that hit the board next turn, but needs another red source.
Yep, needs a red source, needs a land, and now Javier has a hand full of gas there. Fable the Mirror Breaker, Bankbuster picked up, being just a no matter what, really strong play, and also just has the option of playing a Chandra of his own right now. And, well, there's not that many great answers to the Planeswalkers if the opponent doesn't already have a good battlefield to attack it.
Exactly right, but it looks like we're just going to play it a little safe here from Javier, not wanting to deploy Chandra just yet, but we will get the Bankbuster down. And let's see what the follow-up is here.
Yeah, now Javier has a decision whether or not to play Fable or hold up Go for the Throat and then draw a card. Pretty close either way. Always pretty tough to talk yourself out of playing the most powerful card, Fable the Mirror Breaker.
I mean, not much convincing needed.
Exactly.
Or enough convincing needed to get him to cast it, and leaving just the 1 mana open, possibly seeing a cycle of the blood token, or discard and draw, I should say.
Yep, and Nathan did just play last round against another teammate, Karl Sarap, number 2, as Mani and Maria were talking at the booth, played last round, and they almost ran into the true train wreck scenario of almost going to game 3 when there was about 7 minutes left.
You came rushing back to the green room to tell us. It was like, oh no, that's terrible.
But then Nathan came back from behind and was able to finish it off 2-0. Otherwise, they might have picked up another draw, which would have been terrible for both players.
An intentional one at this point.
Exactly.
A land drawn here for Nathan Steuer on the end step. There's a swamp. No, you're supposed to be red. Oh, Haunted Bridge. Okay, okay.
So we are going to see Chandra deployed because, well, there's nothing else to do. But now it's just going to be what are the modes?
Yeah, just start clearing out maybe the token, protect the board a little bit.
Yeah, or just tick up and exile the top 5 cards and give yourself a bunch of gas for next turn. All the modes are great. You know, the +2 for the mana doesn't really apply that often unless you have something like 3 mana left over, and then you can tick up and double Invoke Despair. That's kind of the times when I see that mode.
I saw that yesterday. It was gross.
Yeah.
All right, where are we going, Nathan? Up or down?
So here's the thing, if you go up and you exile the cards, if Javier does have something like a removal spell for Harvester plus a creature, you can attack the Shaman and the Bankbuster at Chandra, and all of a sudden you're in a rough spot. And as we know, Javier does have Chandra.
Okay. So just floating the 2 mana and saying go.
Yeah. Now Javier has a really, really nice play where he can just go Chandra and negative... I guess it is a little awkward because you want a negative enough to be able to kill Chandra and the Harvester, but you're actually 1 short unless you give up your own Chandra. So, yeah, this will be interesting here.
Yeah, because going to clear the blocker out the way and get her loyalty low enough so that the creatures are able to take it down.
Okay, I believe we just saw Light Up the Night picked up as well.
Coming in hot, as Chandra likes to. Let's see where he goes from here. This is a nice group of cards to have for Javier Dominguez.
Yeah. That was actually a really nice heads-up play there from Nathan, going up to 7 instead of 6. Because if it was at 6, you're able to go -4, put Chandra down to 2, kill Harvester, and then finish it off with Shaman. But since it's at 7, leaving even Chandra at 1 loyalty
that's
is
enough.
Devastating with the static ability.
That is enough. You know, if he's then able to plus and get the 5 cards, something to cost from there, because, you know, what are the odds that he hits absolutely nothing to cost?
Exactly. So. And if you hit one of the haymakers, you know,
oh, then big brain plays. You look like a genius.
Big trouble, yeah. I like that he's reading the one that Nathan has when it's in his hand to not give away any information.
Very smart. Nathan wasn't too happy about that. He's just like, ah.
Oh, sorry. Nice one. My bad.
Still at 19. Didn't take a ding from the Painland.
So what we can do here is destroy both, attack, and then use that treasure to then light up the night to finish it off. Ooh, spicy.
Very nice. What a good way to get rid of the opposing Chandra. So now everything is coming up Javier.
And scoops it up.
It was good. It was good. It was good for me. Yeah, yeah. It was good.
I like hearing their discussions after the games.
And these are teammates, so you know you do see a lot of, like, of course they both want to win. They're in a situation where all they have to do is win one of the next 3 rounds, so they're both looking good no matter what.
Yeah.
But now they're just kind of students of the game, like both great players trying to help each other out and improve their game.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of the World Championship where between games or between rounds or something, Ely was saying to Nathan, look, this is how your deck beats mine.
Yes, yes, exactly.
You know, what a gentleman, basically saying, hey, listen, if I'm doing this, then you should be doing this at the next. And, you know, all these players, they're at a level where they're just trying to lift each other up.
Yeah, well, that didn't age too well because it did take second in the World Championship.
You know, that's a classy move if I've ever seen one.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe he went a little too classy. Ely being one of the nicest players out there at helping a bunch of players out, that's for sure.
Oh, no, he's wonderful. Oh, hey, Lily. What's up, girl?
Good. Liliana being a couple of them in the board, not played a ton in these Rakdos decks, but a nice sideboard card.
Yeah, just 2 of them in the sideboard for both of these players. And no real concern of any regurgitation from the graveyard. You know, you can just cause a discard or a sacrifice or whatever, and you don't have to worry about that stuff coming back.
0 regurgitation from these decks. You are correct.
Yeah, maybe attack a Numa or something to worry about. But besides that, you know, Graveyard Trespasser can chomp on it. These players are playing a couple of those, so
All right. Chapter 2 discarded a couple of powerful ones, Chandra, and go for the throat to stock up, and has Invoke Despair lined up next turn for Nathan. Pretty strong.
You're 19, right?
Did I take a damage?
For the Fable.
Yeah, I'm at 19, thanks.
Cards you have
Just checking
now.
life totals.
They're probably pretty good.
These pain lands pinging you when you least need them to, but no, all good. Lily gets ticked up.
Yep. Javier saying that they're probably pretty good since you didn't cast anything. Nathan discarding an extra land there, has the swamp all wrapped up to be able to invoke Despair next turn.
Yeah. What's more satisfying, getting 3 for 3 or over 3 with an Invoke Despair?
I would say getting the 3 cards, because that means you're not behind on the battlefield and you just played something that gets you so far ahead and deals a ton of damage. Invoke Despair on the draw, or I mean in that situation where you're destroying a couple of things, you know, it might just be catching you up, but might not be enough.
Yeah, it's kind of a versatile card in that respect. You know, it can either get you out of a pickle or a sticky predicament when you're very far behind, or just get you too far ahead that your opponent's not coming back from
Exactly.
it, so.
It's a good door closer.
Yeah,
for sure.
Catch you up and shut you out. It's Fable of the Mirror Breaker flipped.
All right.
And not for long. Wow, this poor little guy gets killed so much.
Yeah, this matchup really is lightning fast, too. Blinking, you're going to miss this match. Not only are these players, you know, so experienced in playing their deck that they play quite fast, but it is also just a deck that doesn't really do a lot of blocking. You know, they're just all aggression. And that's just really showing how powerful the deck is.
Yeah. It's a very satisfying deck to play when everything just lines up so well. And it looks like we're going to see another Duress here.
Both players' hands are pretty bad.
Duress, cut down.
Both players did not draw very well off their Invoke Despairs. No Chandra, no second Invoke, not even a Fable the Mirror Breaker to be able to loot away some of these late-game Duress or redundant lands.
One thing that's nice about the channel lands is you can't duress those, so it's just the Abrade that's in danger of the duresses on the other side for Javier. So what are you taking here for Steuer?
You know, normally you want to just take the redundant card or the non-redundant card, so you take cut down there, but duress does a little bit more.
Nothing changed.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't say anything.
Nice players there being able to help each other out. Now there is that Takanuma that is able to be channeled at end step and can pick up Chandra from Nathan Steuer's side.
Yeah.
Should I attack?
Just in for the 1 point of damage there from Sokenzen.
Debating whether or not to attack now that Sokenzen was kind of picked up there from Nathan.
Yeah. And you are allowed to take lands back if it hasn't affected anything.
Yep, absolutely a small change that has been implemented.
Mana.
Chandra hopes Beacon hits the board now.
Copy.
Double duress here.
I mean, sure, why not? I duress you twice. So there goes the Abrade. Now we do have a Sokenzen and Takanuma, like you mentioned. So end step, we will see that land channeled to fetch first mill and then fetch something back from the yard.
And we're going to fetch Chandra here, but huge advantage to Javier Dominguez. The first person to get Chandra down, really advantageous for the players now. What do you do if you're Nathan for this Chandra? Either way, it looks like Javier is going to be able to tick up, look at some cards, and if you find Invoke Despair, literally win the game. Yeah, it'll be exactly 10.
It's a oops, I win for sure. So
this could be one win away, one turn away from Javier Dominguez making it back to the top 8 big stage. You know, it seems like it's been a while since we've seen him on the Sunday stage. Really hasn't been that long since he won the World Championship and was runner-up the year before as well to William Huey Jensen.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, 2019, I believe it was.
I believe, that
he
sounds
was,
right.
just coming off winning the World Championship and then went on an absolute heater in the Mythic
gamble for you now?
Championships.
No, that's kinda-
Multiple top 8s, qualifying for the following World Championship that Paolo eventually won twice. In every way that he could qualify, he did.
Yeah, but it's kinda
Yep,
like-
So-
won the 2018 World Championship after being runner-up in the 2017 World Championship. Really impressive thing. Talk about having the fire to get back and win one more match after losing to Huey.
Unbelievable stuff. World-class player.
Absolutely.
A lot of people like to throw the term GOAT around, but definitely one of the greatest of all times. As ooh, we're minusing on the Chandra. Fun times. Okay, just deal some damage, get some dings through, Fable the Mirror Breaker. I guess Javier wasn't just gonna freewheel it and hope for the best here.
And I believe that Invoke Despair is supposed to be in the graveyard, I assume. Well, it's just hanging out there in the battlefield.
For you?
Yeah.
Take 1, 2.
Let's see if there is a way to
22.
deal.
Yes, we die.
Oh, okay, it was the
the
Chandra
exiled,
exiled.
yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, that's right. All right. Good games.
That's gonna be.
That's
That's gonna do it. Javier Dominguez locking up yet another top 8.
Congrats, buddy.
Look what it means to him. That is such a great moment for Javier Dominguez, former world champion, up against his teammate and friend Nathan Steuer. So
I have
love to see it.
missed that hands and head Javier there. You can always tell how much he loves the game and how much he respects competitive Magic. One of the most gracious champions and someone who wants it so much.
Yeah.
It's always so great to see.
I mean, you can. If you don't draw Fable, you have to plus.
Yeah, have to plus, otherwise.
And back to business
Yeah.
straight away.
Yeah,
Just
don't
discussing the
make sense. I don't
matchup,
know
discussing
Exactly.
what could have happened in that, but a wonderful moment indeed there for Javier Dominguez, and another little victory for Team Handshake. So congratulations to those players, one of potentially several team members in the top 8. You gotta love it.
One person in the top 8. We got 7 more to figure out here in the next 3 rounds. Huge congrats to Javier.
Absolutely. Nathan Steuer, 1 win away. Let's see if he can do it. And we have plenty more Magic, my friends, after this short break, so don't go anywhere.
Hey everybody, coming up next we've got Reid Duke versus Alex Poulosky.
Reid Duke is on this innovative build of Rakdos Breach that him and some of the members of Channel Fireball came up with. You do see the typical Rakdos midrange shell going a bit bigger, using cards like Big Score to ramp out Breach the Multiverse and Itali to go over top of what your opponent is doing. On the other side, Alex Poulosky playing Rakdos midrange. This is the deck of the tournament, and you do see Bloodtithe Harvester, Fable of the Mirror Breaker, and Shieldred leading up to Chandra to cast Invoke Despair and give you the edge.
That's Breach versus Midrange coming up after this.
Welcome back to coverage of Pro Tour March of the Machine. I'm Adi Looney alongside Corey Baumeister, and we have just put our first competitor into the top 8, and it is none other than former world champion Javier Dominguez. Absolutely awesome game that we just saw. But now we move our focus onto another feature match. It is Reid Duke up against Alex Poulosky. We haven't seen Alex yet. He's just been quietly winning with the Rakdos mid-range deck. This is his Pro Tour debut up against one of the best players here.
Not a bad first Pro Tour to be putting yourself in a position where you can 2-1 into the top 8 or 1-2 and hope for some breakers, but definitely don't want to put yourself in that position against the reigning champ and all-around good guy, Reid Duke.
Both these players are at 10 wins, so still looking for 2 more to lock up their top 8 spots. So let's get this game underway. Rakdos mid-range, Rakdos breach, a swamp to start things off from both players here.
And a little fun fact here about Alex. Alex said in the little player survey that we give the players, who would you like to play against? And said Javier Dominguez, who's a player he has a lot of respect for, and if he keeps doing some winnings, might just be playing against him tomorrow on the biggest stage.
He may well get his wish here as we kick things off with the Reckoner Bankbuster for Reid Duke and good old Graveyard Trespasser. It is now daytime.
Absolutely, and number 5 there by Reid Duke's name, so a big mulligan there to 5 here.
Shucks.
Not ideal for Reid, but on the draw with Bankbuster, at least you can come back a little bit.
Yeah.
But this is kind of the deck that Reid and the rest of Team CFB did want to play against when it comes to the deck that they like to be faced up against, because they can't interact with the powerful things they're doing that much, besides interacting with the life total.
For sure. Where are we going from here? It's a duress. So let's take a look in the hand here of Alex. We see a cut down, a Chandra, and a go for the throat. What are you humming about
Well,
there,
maybe
friend?
it looks like Alex was the one to mulligan here and maybe not Reid, because that is a very small
3
amount of cards there for Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah, considering that is 7 cards right there. I'm guessing we had that graphic mixed around there. Looks like Alex did mull it to 5.
Eagle Eye Baumeister.
Hey.
That's your new nickname,
That's
friend.
what I'm here for. We'll see if Reid has a follow-up land here for Bankbuster to be able to draw a card.
Sure does. Now let's see. Now we don't have information of what's in the player's hands, so we're going to play a lovely guessing game of what could they have, and it is going to be a go for the throat to take care of the Trespasser, having to discard a card, shield it into the bin as the ward cost for that card.
Yep, absolutely no play there for Alex, no top deck Fable or anything like that. Just switches it to Night.
Woo, indeed. As it becomes nighttime, drawing card here for Reid Duke, looking for land number 4 potentially.
And missed it, did say go, so not
Ruh-roh.
ideal there. And it looks like Alex did pick up Chandra, so a couple more lands, and Alex does have a big haymaker.
Yeah, this Bankbuster is putting in work, needs to find something here. Haunted Ridge for Reid Duke, Proto Phyrexia champion. Go for the third cut down and the Chandra in hand for Alex. And there's a Blood Tithe Harvester, which won't be long for this world, courtesy of the cut down, so just the blood token left behind.
Yep, but these kind of draw-go games where both players have removal and not a ton of gas, Reckoner Bankbuster absolutely shines. And it really looks like Bankbuster was kind of looked, negatively when it came to RC testing seasons. People were playing like 2-ofs here and there, but it was just a card that was looked at as too slow, where Esper Legends was kind of taking advantage of these slow cards like Bankbuster. With Esper Legends being a lot less represented here, Bankbuster has just looked amazing all weekend.
Bankbuster's time to shine yet again with Esper Legends not being super popular.
Yep.
And we're seeing the power of the card on display here with Reid Duke.
Use the Bankbuster. I'm gonna cut down the teleport.
He's big scored.
So
He is going to
treasure back.
Yep.
Pilot comes in. You kill
Treasure
it.
card, pilot, the whole shebang.
Players kind of shortcutting with Alex knowing he doesn't have that many decisions, kind of just like, I'll kill that. I'll kill what I can. And yeah, with that big score, everything is pretty set up for Reid. If we have one of these powerful spells, like Breach,
the
there it is.
multiverse. Oh, I love this card so much. Alrighty, let's mill some stuff and let's go digging in graveyards.
All right, let's see what we hit.
Ooh, Shieldred, nice.
Shieldred's not a bad hit. Atali is definitely the ideal card you want to be hitting.
Yeah, there's a Shieldred there.
Creature
And a
or
Blood Tithe
Planeswalker.
Harvester,
So could take
yeah.
Chandra from Alex and Shieldred from Reid. That's an option.
That seems good.
That seems
you know, I mean, sure,
good
there's
place to
other
start.
options, Corey, right? Like, you know, just a
Chandra,
normal rare.
My Graveyard Trespasser.
Oh,
Oh, I was kidding, but yeah, sure.
yeah.
Go
not
for it.
bad.
Oh, wow.
Graveyard Trespasser, and it's nighttime, so it's the reverse side.
Yep.
It's a Graveyard Glutton, so two things.
Yep, and Breach does put these things into play. It's not cast, so it won't turn it to day yet. But that kind of leads me to believe that Reid already has a Shieldred in hand and doesn't want to get a
Exile.
redundant threat.
Yeah.
Shieldred and Graveyard Trespasser.
Yeah.
Nice. Alrighty, gain and drain. Let's go. 2 life for Reid. 2 life lost for Alex. All right, where's this Chandra going? I love the big dice always comes in.
Yeah, and now you're able to still activate Chandra. You can get a couple more mana. Reid still has 3 mana available here if you want to play something like a Fable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna crew up the Bankbuster with the Graveyard Glutton and in for 4, so down to 14 goes Alex. What is Chandra gonna do? Let's see.
Looks like just tick up to find some cards. Nope, goes for
Just the
mana.
mana,
Red
okay.
and black mana.
Oh, cool. Graveyard.
Blood token.
Excuse me, Blood Tithe Harvester is gonna join the fray, and that's 2 spells cost, so should be daytime.
All right,
Yep.
yep. Daytime, but lights out in
Yeah.
this game for sure.
Touche. Game
Yeah.
2. Let's jump in here and see if Alex Poulosky can get a foothold in this matchup against Reid Duke. That was pretty much exactly the way you want the game to play out if you're on Reid Duke's side. You know, struggled a little bit with finding the land drops, but
Yep.
Bankbuster.
Yep, absolutely. And that game, very much a product of Alex mulling to 5 on the play,
Yeah.
had the Trespasser and removal spells. So once Reid dealt with that, aka 2 for 1ing himself by discarding to go for the throat with the ward, after that was dealt with, Alex just didn't do anything else. So kind of a trivial game for Reid.
Duress taking a look in hand here. A couple lands.
And
We said Blood
Bankbuster
Tithe Harvester.
gone.
Yeah. Bankbuster is an easy pick in
Yep.
most of these matchups. It's like, yeah, no card advantage for you, thanks.
Exactly. When most of these decks are playing 2 Abrades, 3 copies, something like that, you do see only 1 copy in Alex's deck and then 2 for Reid. So whenever Bankbuster just gets that full value where
Oh,
you get to go all the way through, just ends up being pretty devastating in these Fable the Mirror Breaker mirrors.
Blood Tithe Harvester down on the board here for Alex Poulosky. Swamp.
I'm back.
Okay. Do we have a red source for Reid Duke at the moment? We do have 3 points of damage being dealt here by Alex.
It doesn't look like it so far. I believe I saw Big Score, Harvester, Fable. Maybe that was a Haunted Ridge in the back, which would make a little bit of sense as your 3rd land. But if that card in the back wasn't a land, Reid could be in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah.
You have 4?
Yes.
As things stand.
Let's see.
Alex
Yep,
looking
was
pretty
a
good.
Haunted Ridge.
And there's Fable the Mirror Breaker for Reid Duke. So a little goblin on the board. Probably not going to last long because we've seen these guys die more than anything at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex didn't really have any gas there. Ended up just discarding the land to the blood token and had nothing but a Soaken's in for something to do. Did just pick up Shieldred, so has some, a nice curve out play to play right now. But that'll really put the test to Reid if there is an answer. I see a Atali, Big Score,
Blood Tithe Harvester.
Harvester.
Here comes a Shieldred.
A second Atali, and behold,
And
there is
behold,
no
yeah.
answer to Shieldred.
Or Breach the Multiverse.
A Breach, yep.
Behold the Multiverse is a card draw spell.
Yes.
Always throws us off a little bit.
Well, I mean, Breach can be as well
It sure
in the
can,
right
yeah.
circumstances.
Fable the Mirror Breaker Chapter 2. Let's see if we're going to discard anything here for Reid.
And I
If
mean,
he's
at this
happy with his
point,
hand.
Reid definitely is not happy with his hand because he has 3 7-drops in hand. So you want to discard, but each card you
Yeah,
discard comes with the
that
price
hurts.
of 2 life. So Reid would be put down to 8 if he does what his deck wants to do right now and pitches some giant dinos to the graveyard. No
Land
discard.
go. Ooh, alrighty. All right, untap, upkeep, draw, gain some life.
So this was really interesting of Reid to not discard because he did have land 4. With having big score in hand, Reid needs to prioritize casting that spell.
Yeah.
And if he discards to Fable and big score, which he would like to do under normal circumstances, he would just be dead to the Shieldred attack. So can't do exactly what he wants, but almost assuredly will still be casting big score at end step.
Does he need to keep this goblin alive for his plans?
Not necessarily, because you can draw a land.
Yeah.
So let's say if Alex attacks with both, Reid probably will block the Harvester.
Because that's 7 damage, he'd be at 5. Drawing those 2 cards, that's another 4, he'd be at 1.
Yep.
But then the draw on the upkeep will draw step will kill him.
Oh,
Soken's too.
Ow.
Ow.
Nice guy, Reid. And kind of, you know, the way the rules are right now, make sure just players play by the rules. If you see something that's wrong, which we do see, Alex tapped 1 too many manas. And says all good, gets to play Harvester.
Yeah, sure. A reduction on Soken's Crucible of Defiance.
Yeah.
The legend is on the battlefield, so 1 mana cheaper. And yeah, just start getting things out the way and turning stuff sideways. So
And that was a huge difference. Alex just had the plan of just Soken's in attack, but with Harvester, Harvester is able to clean up the Shaman token, and now...
not right now, though. It's Summoning Sick, right?
No, the other one
the
just
other
went
one,
to the graveyard.
Yeah,
so
he's
now
gone.
Reid is in the really rough spot of the Shaman won't be able to block Shieldred, so
Yeah.
Reid's going to go to 8. Big score would put him to 4. And then the draw step puts him to 2, and he has to figure out a way out from there. Or excuse me, the 2 tokens attacking as well would
Yeah.
put him to 0. So
Yeah.
Reid has to find a removal spell before he draws his card
Ooh, yeah.
next turn.
Because he has to kill, big score, treasure. Might find one now.
Yep. So doing it now.
Treasure, draw.
Probably trying to find Go for the Throat right now.
Ding, ding. This is all in response to the sacrifice of the Blood Tithe Harvester. So there goes the friend to the bin. In for 6. Reid's on 2. Does he have removal? Nope.
Yeah, and that was
Owie.
the most clutch top deck Shieldred
Yeah.
because just based on Reid's hand, Reid could have easily drawn out of that with Chapter 2 of Fable and Big Score if there wasn't 1, a lot of pressure, which Shieldred represented, and 2, the draw clause, which represented 10 damage with Reid not having a Go for the Throat. So huge top deck there for Alex.
Super, super close matchup between these 2 players. Blood Tithe Harvester to start things off here for Reid Duke. We see a Graveyard Trespasser in hand as well as a Fable. And a Blood Tithe Harvester of Alex's own.
And I believe from Alex's hand, I did not see a ton of lands in there, so might be looking to rattle off a couple of those off the top of the deck. And we'll see if Reid has the Fable.
Blood Tithe Harvesters taking care of each other there. Well, taking care of. Murdering each other in cold blood. Reckoner Bankbuster on the board for Reid Duke.
To put it elegantly, right?
Yeah.
All right, and that was
Here
a top
comes the
deck
Fable.
land off the top there for Alex, so nice pickup to deploy Fable. The alternate art Fable looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is quite sweet. I like his alternate arts.
Oh, looks like there's a Sulphur Springs as well in hand for Alex. So Alex's hand looks great here. Reid is really going to be up against it.
Fable of the Mirror Breaker for Reid Duke. So it's a it's almost an exact mirror match here. We just need a Bankbuster from Alex to make it exactly so in terms of things played thus far.
Yep.
Ooh, an Invoke Despair in hand.
Invoke Despair, Graveyard Trespasser, Go for the Throat, Harvester, and a Graveyard Trespasser, if I didn't already say that. So yeah, really strong hand for Alex here. This is almost one of those scenarios where I could definitely see him just being like, yeah, no discard. The scariest thing to hear from your opponent playing Fable the Mirror Breaker.
Yeah.
I'll keep these.
Yeah, these are good. I'm fine. I mean, land number 4 would be useful here
Yep.
for Alex, because I don't believe he had one in hand, but we do. Okay, we are discarding a couple creatures there to draw 2. So Trespasser and Harvester in the bin. Did we get a land there? I don't believe we did.
Okay. Let's see. I think we did still have a Sulphur Springs. Goes for the Goblin Shaman trades.
All right.
And Reid
Go
does
down.
have... there's
Turn
Invoke.
4 Invoke, that hurts. No creature, so gonna get 2 cards.
Two
Take
cards.
4 points of life from Reid.
And most importantly for Reid, or for Alex, excuse me, is taking out Fable before Chapter 2.
Yeah.
You know, Reid's deck definitely has a lot of clunky 7-mana spells and 6-mana spells, so you rely on those discards quite heavily.
You know what? One Invoke deserves another.
Pass.
So just card draw, life loss, all of it going on here. 2 lands in hand now for Alex.
Okay, 5 mana for Alex here. Has the ability to deploy one of the 3 drops and leave up some mana, and then have the ability to interact there with the Abrade to take down Bankbuster. So solid turn, just haymakers, destroying each player's permanents back and forth here.
Stuff doesn't stay long here.
No, not really.
Call it permanent. Not so sure about that.
And there we go.
Oh boy, more sadness on the stack. Invoke Despair, just destroying everything in its path. These players are just they're churning through their libraries at this rate.
Yeah, and land number 6 there for Reid. That just means next turn, 1 more top deck, and you get into the really scary top decks of the 2 Breaches and the 2 Atalis in the list. So see if Reid has one of those for a follow-up.
Breach the multiverse in hand for Alex, so it's definitely a race to see who can fire off one of these haymakers first. Oh my goodness, another Invoke Despair. 6 more life lost.
Just a 6. Just an absolute haymaker of a spell. Just take 6.
Now 6.
Oh my goodness me. 6 cards in hand. That is a gripful here for Alex. There is land. There is a Tali.
Says, let's try.
Let's go. Alrighty, non-land permanent. Go.
Ooh.
Non-land.
First, I'm going to duress you, and then I'm going to cast Breach.
Non-land card, I should say. Oh, goodness. Oh, my goodness.
You get to take the Breach from Alex and cast a Breach here.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, let's mill.
Oh my goodness here.
Wow, it's Ali. You are certainly the conqueror.
Now let's see what else we have as a follow-up for a creature or planeswalker. Doesn't look like anything amazing there from Reid.
No, there's no planeswalker in the bin. Best creature is the Harvester?
Yeah, Harvester. I don't think I see a Chandra or anything, so there's a Shieldred. I believe that is one of those cards. And yep, there is a
So I've already
Shieldred.
selected my own Blood Tithe Harvester.
Yeah. Blood Tithe Harvester is the selection for Reid.
We'll listen in to see what he's thinking.
Your Shieldred.
Yes.
Not bad.
I'm going to make a second blood token.
Mine.
And then I'm just going to write down your hand.
Wow, what a swing here.
Oh,
Atali
my
hitting a
goodness.
duress. Already pretty impressive to be able to take the Breach, but then being able to hit Reid's own Breach.
Wow.
Truly incredible.
Oh, it's Ali. That isn't. That's backbreaking for Alex.
Wow.
How do you come back from this?
Well, we're going to see. I'm not sure what that card is next to the swamp. Is that a Shieldred as well from Alex?
I think so, in hand.
Alternate art Shieldred. You have a Trespasser, you have Go for the Throat and a couple of lands. But yeah, now all of a sudden you're just playing catch-up here, and Reid can still have plenty of gas in hand. We don't know exactly what he's holding.
We might see a flipped Atali.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. Couple lands away here from just being able to end the game immediately.
I would like to see that. I'm not sure if we will, but it's still pretty darn cool.
This is already achievement unlocked for me. I want to see Atali into Breach at some point, and this was just incredible.
We got to get down with the sickness. Come on. I want to see it. But yeah, that was just rough. And to Go for the Throat will be able to take care of, I think that's Archfiend of the Dross.
Okay,
Maybe?
okay. Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely is Archfiend. Alternate art there. I think that alternate art got us at the
Yeah,
last
it
Pro
did.
Tour as well,
It
didn't
did.
it?
We had to ask chat for help, and they're probably screaming at us right now. Sorry, chat. But yeah, there's 4 counters on the Archfiend, and someone was telling me about a funny interaction with the Cemetery Desecrator, removing the counters of that guy.
Yes. I was also wondering if anyone was going to play Render Inert in
yeah.
a sideboard for this card, if Archangel was still going to be as popular.
Oh, no. All right, Archfiend of the Dross up against a dinosaur and a vampire.
Yeah, that's the thing is Archfiend of the Dross definitely got invalidated a lot with the printing of Atali. It's just a much bigger thing to be doing.
Yeah.
Now, this Rakdos deck does play quite differently, trying to be a lot more aggressive, but even now, you just have a Harvester to deal with it.
Yeah.
With 3 bloods.
We'll lose 2 life, courtesy of the Archfiend with that sacrifice.
Yep.
So 7, 8, 9, 10.
Okay, now Reid is at 6 life, so this is
Yeah.
getting a little
dicey.
scary.
Yeah. But still, I mean, he's got a dinosaur.
He's got a dinosaur, but if you get Invoke the Spare to be able to put Reid to 2,
Yeah.
all of a sudden, it could get a little dicey, but it's got to be a big draw here. Otherwise, this is Reid Duke 1 win away from
a top 8.
advancing to back-to-back top 8s.
Goodness me. Fable the Mirror Breaker, blood token being sacrificed, needs to find something here. Does Alex Poulosky, or this is all over and done? And there's the handshake. Reid Duke 1 match away from another top 8. Incredible stuff.
Starting off 0-2 in a draft, I mean, starting off 0-2 is really kind of demoralizing like this. Not for Reid Duke. The secret just being, just love Magic.
Just love
Magic, and then you can come back from an 0-2, no problem. So
just like,
there you go.
You know, water for ducks back. Nothing phases Reid Duke. He's just cool, calm, collected. But now we turn our attention to Karl Sarap versus Charis Kikidis.
Okay.
Karl Sarap looking to improve his record and join his teammates at the top of the standings and in the top 8 potentially. So let's jump in here and see how these 2 players shake out against each other. Unbelievable stuff. Breach the Multiverse, huh? Hell of a card.
Yep, very, very strong. And we do see Karl with kind of that awkward record right now of 10 wins with that 1 at the end, that draw in the last round against Nathan Steuer. And all of a sudden, Karl has to win this game and then another round to be able to lock it up. So could be kind of a train wreck scenario if they don't make it.
Both players at 1 game win apiece. Takes a look at the hand here with the Duress, Make Disappear, Corpse Appraiser, and Bankbuster. Bankbuster is basically just like, oh, Duress, remove target Bankbuster from hand.
Exactly. If there is no Bankbuster, then make decisions.
Yeah. Otherwise, the decision's made for you, pretty much.
Pretty much. So this is Charis here playing this special version of Grixis with no Invoke Despairs, just playing a lot more interaction. And that'll actually pretty much, or that will come in handy against this style of Rakdos decks where they're playing so many Haymakers. They're playing Chandras.
They're
playing a bunch of Invokes. Having Make Disappears and stuff for that ends up being pretty good against them.
I was listening to his interview with Cedric earlier, and he even admitted that perhaps not the best idea to not play Invoke Despairs after seeing how the metagame shook out. But so far, it's served him pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. For being your first Pro Tour, you're doing all right. If we can get Charis to have 1 graveyard here, Charis is on his way.
Don't worry about it. The speed is more important. We're going to time coverage.
So Make Disappear taking care of Liliana the Veil. Pretty easy counter spell there, getting the powerful Planeswalker dealt with early. Karl Sarap knew about the counter spell, so just trying to empty the hand of relevant reactive spells as Fable the Mirror Breaker is going to attempt to be cast.
Second counter spell picked up there.
Gar's doing a good job of just keeping Karl Sarap in check.
And no play for Charis here, just trying to represent some counter spells here, because I believe we did see at least a Corpse Appraiser. There's no Corpse to do any appraising here, so not the best play so far. We'll see what Karl has for a follow-up. Right. Taking a creature there.
Some hand disruption for Karl Sarap, just to get a little bit more information.
Not a card I expected to see in this tournament.
No, only Bankbuster and Appraiser.
All right, plays a Fable there.
Fable the Mirror Breaker able to filter through the library. Try and get Karl Sarap a little bit more action. Both players have kind of just been, reacting to whatever what their opponent's been doing. So not much on the board to talk about it. Dreams of Steel and Oil.
Yeah, absolutely. And a card that not the entire team played. I was wondering, I didn't see this in the list of Nathan Steuer or something, so
it's just like an extra duress that can hit a creature.
Basically, artifact or creature. So as Karl was saying there, Bankbuster or Corpse Appraiser, basically. Nice little innovative tech here from Terabad, Karl Sarap, who made the top 4 of the World Championship here with Nathan Steuer, now teammates.
So you're going to see Invoke Despair dealing much damage to Charis, down to 14, drawing 3 cards. So excellent.
Yeah. And a really big pickup there as well, picking up a Chandra off that Invoke Despair plus the land to cast it. So if Charis doesn't have the land, or Charis doesn't have the counterspell, which didn't have it last turn for Invoke Despair, that would be me if I'm Karl, just be like, time to jam.
Yeah.
Time
to jam.
Exactly. Karl agrees. Karl agrees here.
Nice. Chandra Hope's Beacon down on the battlefield alongside the flipped Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Now, where do we go? 6, we're going to exile some cards. Let's take a look at the top 5. Invoke, Land, Shieldred, Invoke, and land.
Wow.
Okay, yeah, you want some haymakers? You got them.
You got them, absolutely. Exiling top 5, and until the end of your next turn, you may cast an instant or sorcery.
Oh, poor reflection of Kikidis, always getting dead.
This could be the game right here.
Yeah.
If Charis doesn't have anything, you can't really beat double Invoke.
You cannot.
Wow.
Invoke Despair twice. That Chandra is so cool. So Karl Sarap, 11 wins, just one more to lock up another top 8.
Yep. One more, and already puts himself in a situation where you can kind of hope for the best with that draw. That's definitely a chance you could make it in, even if you lose 2 more, but 1 more to solidify for sure.
All right, friends, we have more Magic to show you. We are just going non-stop. Simon Nielsen, Autumn Burchett, Rakdos Midrange versus Orzhov Midrange, which is, as Monty liked to put it, mono white and a mustache.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Autumn making this deck look really, really sweet. Yeah. Something Kaya was the card that this deck was playing beforehand. This is exactly what Autumn was playing before. Said it's her pet deck.
Yeah.
And already qualified for the next Pro Tour with the pet deck, and now has a chance with a couple of wins to lock up a top 8 berth once again for Autumn.
Again, we're joining in game number 3 here with both of these players. Simon Nielsen, another member of Team Handshake, so there's going to be firm handshakes all around at this rate.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right.
Now, this is a fast-forwarded matchup, so our players are not hopped up on caffeine. Don't worry about that. They are just... we just want to show you as much Magic as possible throughout the weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It's us with the caffeine.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
We need the caffeine for sure, yeah.
All right, and both these players at that 10-3 record, so needing a 2-1 to lock it up as well, similar to the rest of the players we've been seeing.
Ambitious farmhand now.
And honestly, as far as this is sped up a bit, but Autumn was saying in an interview that she has been, really learning to play fast, and not only that, but make sure opponents play fast because, well, these mid-range decks definitely go to time quite a bit.
They do.
So you have to be trained not only in your deck, but you also have to be trained in clock management to make sure you don't pick up a bunch of draws. And Autumn, with 0 draws so far, has done that successfully.
Very, very well indeed. One thing I've always loved about watching Autumn Burchett play Magic is just how deliberate she is. With her draws, with her plays, with her passing of the turn. It's like watching poetry in motion. You know
what my favorite thing is about Autumn?
Yeah.
The always mismatched lands. That you'll never find a basic land that is the same in any of her decks. I absolutely love it. Go back to Mythic Championship 1 with all the islands.
Oh, yeah.
All different.
Actually, I remember that. Very, very cool. Autumn Burchett would love to join her opponent from Mythic Championship 1, Reid Duke. As these players are working their way towards the top 8. We have the Wandering Emperor and an Ambitious Farmhand on the board. A Shieldred and Reckoner Bankbuster for Simon Nielsen. So it's almost like a battle of good versus evil here.
Yeah, pretty much. pretty much. And Simon Nielsen, of course, playing this really innovative deck from Team Handshake, a member of that team. Rakdos midrange. I mean, we saw it. You know, Monty was saying historically how impressive the win rate of this deck is. We'll see after day 2. Well, so far it's still looking about the same. All the players are doing quite well in day 2 as well as day 1.
A sweet card from the sideboard here for Autumn is Shieldred's Edict, able to force a sacrifice. So Shieldred gets got. Wasn't interested there, Simon Nielsen, in crewing the Bankbuster.
Yeah.
So favoring the card draw engine over the Shieldred.
Over the Shieldred. Yeah, and that makes sense. Shieldred is not that great against these mid-range decks. There's so many ways to remove it and grind it out here with ossifications, lay down arms, etc.
Yeah. So long as the Bankbuster's not a creature, it is a little bit safer. We're now going to see the Light Up the Night taking care of the Eternal Wanderer. Excuse me, the Wandering Emperor.
Yep, and looks like Surge of Salvation to protect it there. Impressive. Okay, this is looking great for Autumn. All right, she's able to get 4 damage in. Unless you want to leave back, so she has the decision to leave back to try to block Bankbuster to make sure you can protect the Wandering Emperor. And decides to get in anyways. It is pretty tough because Simon would have to get a creature that would be able to crew it and have a removal spell for one of these tokens, and then Autumn still has a chump blocker, so would take a lot, but still decides to stay back, says that's much more important.
As things stand right now, Autumn is, developing the board state quite nicely here. Just the Bankbuster for Simon Nielsen, but we've seen these decks, as soon as they hit a specific number of mana, or number of lands, things get a little dicey.
Yep, absolutely. And I see Chandra, another Bankbuster, at least in hand for Simon. So has the option to just jam. Chandra, not so great on this battlefield when you're already behind. But another Bankbuster plus activate that, a fine turn. At some point, Simon will have to stop the bleeding here, but not yet.
Yeah, but now with this little pilot, we can crew the second copy of Bankbuster to get in the way of these Samurai. The farmhand isn't able to flip just yet. For Coven, does need 1 more power. So we will see the ossification.
Being busted, that's for sure. It's basically Ocean's 11 up in here.
Wow, that's an old reference.
Thank you, thank you. Aging myself here, absolutely.
Ooh, boy. Don't worry, friends. Corey's here all weekend.
All weekend, you know it.
So in response to the ossification on the pilot, we will see the Bankbuster crewed. So now does this open the window for Autumn Burchett to take care of this creature as it stands?
Yeah, taking care of the Bankbuster here would be huge because it has all the counters. But the one thing, if that was crewed, Simon will not be able to draw a card at end step because it will be sick, summoning sick.
Yeah.
But just Simon valuing his life total a little bit more right now.
All right, so yeah, it was crewed, so it didn't draw the card there.
Yep.
All right.
See now if it's time for Chandra. It does seem like Simon's kind of lining up with Chandra, the play it, tick up, invoke once that's found. Or maybe there is 2 Chandras, which makes it a lot more likely to play one of them and just force Autumn into the situation where she kind of has to attack it down.
Yeah. Chandra is a great removal spell for these, go wide strategies. Just being able to take care of some of the smaller critters and protect herself.
Yeah, it has to be one of the breakout cards from the new set, if not
for sure.
I mean, Atali is incredible, but I mean, Chandra is really putting in the numbers with these Rakdos mid-range decks, and it is just looking so good.
It's kind of a pick your poison between the 2 big red cards of the set, you know. Chandra or Atali, how would you like to kill your opponent?
Why not both?
Yeah, sure. Well, that works. So going up to 7, and we're going to see removal spells there for the creatures. So farmhand, so one of the tokens and the Planeswalker dealt with.
Yeah, I got forked there with Lithomatic Barrage to be able to deal with Wandering Emperor and the large token, thanks to Chandra Static, and a beautiful turn there for Simon Nielsen.
Yeah.
Looking really good for him all of a sudden.
Jeez. In 1 turn or 2 turn cycle, he's just like, yep, I am in full control of this matchup now, as we will see the block.
Yeah, and Autumn is unable to find something powerful like Sarah Paragon, kind of the namesake card of these decks, and really a card that Autumn prioritized a lot more than maybe other lists, not necessarily in more numbers, because 3 is usually stock, but playing Obscure Storefront as a land to bring back from your graveyard on top of the cards like Roadside Reliquary. And there it is.
There is the card you just mentioned, Corey, just being able to recast things from the graveyard, trying to rebuild here after Simon Nielsen was just able to decimate this battlefield.
Yeah, the one thing that's pretty brutal with this mono-white deck is there is, I mean, Orzhov a little bit here, but there's just not many ways to deal with Planeswalkers straight away. There's so many exile removal spells for creatures, but really nothing great that just deals with a Planeswalker straight away.
Yeah, Ossification, 3 of in the deck for Autumn Burchett, so I'd love to find something along those lines for this Chandra, but as it stands, not finding anything like that at the moment, so the world is Simon Nielsen's oyster right now.
Yep.
As he passes the turn back. Autumn's still at 19, though, so a long ways away from Simon winning this matchup, but it's not looking great as it stands. All right, that's a start. Winning announcement, little token on the board.
Yeah, that's fine. I didn't see exactly what those 5 cards were that were exiled, but I can pretty safely assume one of them was not Invoke Despair. Otherwise, that would have probably been immediately cast. So we're going to see. And now there is the Light Up the Night in the graveyard, so.
Yeah. Start for.
Oh, first card.
Hello, Invoke Despair. Would you like to be cast twice?
I don't think Autumn's coming back from this. This is too much because not only can you invoke, double invoke right now, but then Light Up the Night is in the graveyard here, poised to remove some counters from Chandra and just end this right now.
Yeah, that is just unbelievably painful here for Autumn Burchett. Invoke Despair twice. So many cards drawn, so much life lost. And Shieldred just to put the nail in the coffin here for Autumn Burchett. That is backbreaking. And Autumn has seen enough. Simon Nielsen coming away with a win there. Chandra.
Quite a card.
Holy.
Yeah. That,
holy smokes.
That definitely was the beacon of hope for Simon. I will tell you that. That was quite impressive and really, really good against these mono-white mid-range decks or Orzhov in Autumn's case. So, yeah, wow, impressive.
GG, Simon Nielsen. It's going to be Maria, Monty, and maybe Cedric, and the Machine, perhaps, with them at the news desk after this. So, don't go anywhere.